Hello, everyone. My name is James, and welcome back to Team Gavel. This is our first stream post TwitchCon. So I figured I'd just have today as more of a follow-up day, and we can kind of talk about some of the things that came up during conversations at TwitchCon, some of the things that came up during conversations during the panels that we hosted. But yeah, I'll go ahead and I'm just going to keep today at least starting with a conversation and just chatting. And then as I go through things, I will pivot and potentially play some games towards the end. Okay. So, just for some of the people who hop in, I'm a lawyer, and that's always worthwhile for me to use a little legal disclaimer. So I'm not going to be giving anybody legal advice on this stream per se. I probably will be talking about some legal information. And oops. There we go. Now I also have my captions on. So anyway, I'm not giving anybody legal advice. I'm going to provide legal information talking about copyright law, trademark law, and some of the other legal systems that overlap with Twitch or TwitchCon. And so what is legal information? Yeah, it just is explaining how a system works from a legal or a lawyer lens, as opposed to telling you what you should or shouldn't do in a particular situation. So if you didn't know, then Team Gavel, myself, and another attorney, my lawyer friend, and then a couple other of my lawyer friend's clients, Sam and McLaffy Taffy, hosted 2 panels together at TwitchCon. We had one that was titled That's Not Fair Use, talking about streaming and copyright law. Then we hosted another panel on Saturday that was called Get That Bag, and it's related to stream monetization. So with both of those 2 topics, we had a balance of 2 lawyers and 2 streamers to talk about the various different perspectives of, what you could do in a situation such as, what does it look like in terms of registering copyrights, enforcing DMCAs, DMCA notices, responding or reacting to DMCA notices. All of those things came up. And we had a pretty solid attendance, honestly. I was a little surprised. Friday, not usually one of the busier con days. Usually Saturday, if you've got a 3-day con, Saturday is going to be the most trafficked, most busiest day for the convention. There we go. And so we had a Friday one. Some of the people may not have been there yet, who otherwise could have popped in and checked it out. And we were at a gaming convention and held it out as a legal presentation. We still managed to get, I don't remember the exact number, but a pretty good appearance, a pretty good attendance report from the audience there. And people asked questions and people were engaged. So not only did we have a decent attendance, but the people who were there were active. Now, if you know acting on Twitch or YouTube or other platforms like it, it's really the engagement piece that helps shine you as a potential brand partner or sponsor. And so I'm hopeful that our engagement on Friday might be able to help us doing other panels like that in the future. I really like helping people, and working with streamers and creators of varying levels is highly important to me. Obviously, stream monetization is something that is more often going to be geared towards more introductory streamers, but you know, anybody can have questions about sponsorships, no matter how big or small you are. If you're trying to figure out how to get started in the industry, how to get your first sponsorships, then you're going to have slightly different questions than, hey, I've got this situation where I've been doing sponsorships and maybe they conflict with existing ones, or there's a new one that would conflict. How do I reconcile those two things? We addressed all of those types of issues, but I'd be happy to do other types of educational programming to work with streamers moving forward. And maybe there's a component that would be geared towards partners and affiliates, and then maybe there's one that's a more boot camp for everybody else. I mean, right now, I'm not an affiliate or partner. That's something that I'm hoping to change. And so for everybody that shows up, you know, you're helping me get closer to affiliate. That's my current goal. I don't have the bandwidth to stream and market everything that I need to do a stream well and obtain a partner contract. I just don't. I'm a full-time lawyer, and this is very much part-time work for me. I enjoy it, and I look forward to growing the stream, but affiliate seems to be the highest practical goal in terms of Twitch growth that I should strive for currently. So that's me stating my goal. I want to hit affiliate. Now, if you are somebody with either affiliate status or a partner, then you know there's really a low bar compared to hitting partner or maybe other platforms on here in Twitch. And I agree. Consistency has been one of my problems, but that plus the CCV, those are my two things that I'm going to try to work on. And consistency in streaming and consistency in content are one of the ways that I'm hoping that I can communicate with you all as my audience, and hopefully get some of you guys to stick around, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. So thanks to everybody for being here. Welcome on in. It's Art 420. I'm doing well. I am just kind of going through, and one of the things that I was just saying is, you know, I'm really trying to focus on coming up with clear goals for this particular channel. Right now, we're trying to redirect the channel into more of a legal discussion with gaming as a side component. And so I'm trying to work towards affiliate. So you being here helps me a lot. Even if you stick around for a little bit, thank you so much. If you have any questions about TwitchCon or any of the panels that I hosted, then that's what I'm here to talk about today. Otherwise, I'll probably be bouncing through some of my little bullet points, and then if I run through everything, I may switch over and play something on the Switch that I brought. But yeah, like I said, thank you so much for being here. I am doing all right. I do have a little bit of a sinus funk going on post TwitchCon. I definitely got sick when I left. I was not one of those people who left without any kind of con illness. It's kind of sad, but all things considered, I'm here today, which obviously means that I'm doing okay. And so I hope you are too. All right. And so I was talking about how I did two panels, one that was basically like a copyright panel, and one that was about stream monetization. So we pretty much started Friday by just doing our intro into copyright law and saying, you know, copyright law in the US is specifically for creative expression that's fixed in a tangible media. That is all the legalese that I will throw at you in terms of that kind of copyright definition language or copyright terminology. Estremendo, welcome on in. So yeah, when we were talking about copyright law on that first panel, we kind of just ended up getting into some of the basics, you know, what all types of content is covered on Twitch. And so when we're looking at content like the logo, other way, there we go. So like this logo, it's art, it's creative in theory, you know, you may dispute that kind of thing, but it's something that could be copyrighted. And so you just need to make sure that you do due diligence and protect your content. If you're going to use somebody else's content, there's going to be a risk. I'll change the music. All the music, which was another specific topic that we brought up. I don't have any kind of partnership with Pretzel. My mentor's, my lawyer friend is the attorney for Pretzel, but that's about as close as I get to them. Don't have any type of financial interest, but I have a paid subscription there and I get all my music cleared. So that's how I make sure that I'm doing my due diligence on the music component here anyway. So if you want to check out Pretzel, they have a free subscription and they also have a paid one. The paid one obviously has a larger content library, but I was doing just fine with the free version, so don't feel like you have to buy. Music's a little high. Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna try to bring those down a little bit. Always appreciate feedback. Thank you so much. So yeah, also some of the tracks are a little louder than others, but anyway, I enjoyed getting to talk to the founder of Pretzel. So we had McLaffy Taffy that was there, and a couple other people from Pretzel, and got to chat with them. So I got some of their specific insights and more, I don't want to say confidential information. I'm not that special, but I got some insights from their perspective on the industry, and it was pretty cool. Yeah, I saw that you had followed us while I was there. I mean, did you see both of the panels, or which of the panels did you see? We had, let's see, where do I want to go next? Either way, if you've got content that you're trying to add to your channel, you definitely want to make sure that it's either your original content or that you've got the rights cleared. And so clearing the rights means that you find whoever the actual owner is and you get a license agreement, or you get some variation of permission. A license agreement, very formal. Hey, I want to either pay or come up with some type of arrangement for how I can use your content on my stream versus maybe something informally. If you've got a friend or another creator that's making like emotes or logos or other things that you intend on using on your stream, just asking, hey, if I use this on my stream, is that okay? At a minimum, you want to get some variation of that in writing to say, yes, you have permission to use that asset. Ideally, just from a lawyer perspective, the most cautious perspective, you definitely would, at least my perspective is, you would rather own the asset than have permission to use it. Because if there's ever any issue with the other creator or the other brand who ends up making those assets for you, all they have to say is, hey, I revoke it. No more permission. If you don't have a super formalized agreement, then once they say, hey, I, withdraw my permission, I revoke my permission, then any of your old content or any of your new content that includes the logo or the assets could be copyright infringement. It's just that simple. So all of that stuff matters, and you really need to be careful about who creates the content and where it comes from and how you use the content. So specifically in terms of the music conversation, some of our panelists talked about how when we're looking at music, things have been pretty quiet on the Twitch front. And so a lot of people say, oh, well, it's obviously safe to play whatever music I want now. My music will either be muted, or I'll split the audio tracks, or I'm going to do something else, but still continue to stream music on the channel. And so the response to that was, well, you're still committing copyright infringement. So how is that sustainable for you long term? Are you planning on continually infringing on copyrights? Or do you plan on making your own content, creating your own channel, and treating your channel like it is a job and taking it seriously? That was a bit of a harsh way to put it, but in the context of things, think about it like this. The information that we have about the music situation is this. We know that Twitch and the NMPA, the National Music Publishers Association, entered into a settlement agreement back in 2021. And so with that agreement, most of those terms are private because it's a settlement agreement. It's not a public contract. Because it's a confidential settlement agreement, we don't have all those details. What we do know is that Twitch changed its policies and made some, we'll just say, some satisficing, which I hope I'm using that in the right context, satisficing changes. I don't know if I'm using that, but anyway, some things that get the job done, but not necessarily fix everything. These are band-aid solutions. That's all I need to say. I don't need to use any fancy lingo. And so if they didn't fix the music problem, that means everybody is still violating copyright infringement. But there's probably going to be a term. Like most settlement agreements, there's going to be a scope, there's going to be a list of obligations of each party, and then there's going to be a set of deadlines. And so basically what some of our panelists discuss and some of the things that I learned, that settlement agreement was a Band-Aid solution. And if we don't see a big change on Twitch among the users, frankly, then we're going to see another big wave of DMCA notices whenever that settlement agreement ends. And so we as content creators need to change how we use music on the platform so that we can avoid these issues. If we don't change it, then we're going to be part of the problem. We're going to be causing this whole platform, the service of Twitch or YouTube, you know, these other platforms. We're just going to keep getting additional scrutiny. So think about that. Would you rather be part of the problem, or would you rather be part of the solution moving forward? And so what can we do as content creators? We can find music from people like Pretzel where it's cleared. If you want to do Stream Beats by Harris Heller, or I'm trying to think about where else I've used. Oh, I have to remember. Anyway, if you want to go ahead and find content that is able to be licensed properly, then you're not only protecting yourself, but you're helping make the space a little bit more sustainable for everybody else, because your stream is going to be one of the few, hopefully one of the many, where viable content and sustainable content exist. And then maybe we can start everybody else transitioning to using lawful content, which then could cause there to be a demand for more licensable music. Then we can go to Twitch and we can say, hey, you should totally make this an option. You should make something like a better version of Soundtrack. You can get something like Pretzel and make it available to users. If there's enough demand and collective action there, then we can get that change. We just got we've got so many different perspectives and motivations for how people stream, and it's just too easy to stream infringing works right now to make it up and become a viral streamer and then collect royalties before getting a big DMCA notice or other things. So the incentive is there, but we've got kind of a reversed ecosystem. It's kind of hard to talk about all this in the grand scheme of stuff. Anyway, just because people on the internet are playing music that is otherwise copyright infringement does not mean you should do it. And barring any big changes, it's just a matter of time until we get another DMCA apocalypse. That's really all I got to say there on the music front. I mean, outside of the music realm, people are streaming other types of content, and it's the same thing. So if you're seeing content creators who are streaming TV shows or movies, it's not any different, I promise you. It's still copyright infringement. They have, Amazon has those watch parties where you can actually get a license, but like 90%, 99% of the people who are streaming TV shows and things, they don't have licenses. And saying, okay, this is The Price is Right from the 80s. So the copyright is probably not a big deal. No. Yeah, we're still looking at the same copyright law, and it's most likely in the 80s, it's still going to be copyrighted content that is under all of our current timelines. So anyway, yeah, if you're going to stream any other type of media, clear it. That's all I'm asking for. From one streamer who has to deal with the consequences of people who don't follow the rules. I mean, I don't work for Twitch. I'm definitely not speaking on behalf of Twitch. I wasn't at the panel. I'm still not now. But as somebody who's trying to help clean up the industry, we really do have to work together to try to do these things. So, yeah. Don't stream other people's content, even if you think it'll help you go viral. And I guess in terms of carrying over from some of the points I've mentioned so far, we're talking about doing all of this as a way for you to set up a sustainable channel for yourself. Because if your channel is riddled with DMCA notices or even strikes if it gets there, and there is a difference technically between a strike and a notice. A notice could just more or less turn into a warning. Hey, you may be in violation of copyright law. We're flagging content, we're muting it. And if it's continually being violated, then you may receive an official strike. And so the strikes are based on, hang on just a second. The strikes are in place based on the DMCA or Digital Millennium Copyright Act's safe harbor laws. Maybe I can kind of work on this, just kind of roll things back a little bit. So when the internet was created, there's a lot of stuff that was being posted on the internet. And so when things were first going into court in terms of copyright lawsuits, we had a bunch of people who were suing literally everybody that they could. They were trying to sue the individual users, but then they were also trying to sue all of the websites for hosting the infringing content. And so what we came up with the DMCA was this idea of a safe harbor. And so it says, hey, if you're a service or a platform, as long as you follow these guidelines, then you as the service or platform can be shielded from what would otherwise be direct infringement. So those requirements are basically that if somebody who says, hey, I'm the rights holder, those requirements are this. If somebody says, hey, I'm a copyright holder, this is my copyright, there is a user who is infringing on my work, I'm going to provide all the information about my ownership of said copyright to prove it. And with that, you need to take down the content. The service or platform, which would be Twitch in this case, has one job: take down the content. Now, they have some discretion in potentially reviewing those requests to assess whether they think they're fraudulent or not. They can push back on some of the authenticity of documents that are presented by the alleged copyright holder. But otherwise, to maintain their safe harbor, they have to take the content down. And so if you've been around the block, you know that people do this and they lie. It's not to say that all notices are fraudulent, but there are trolls out there. And people will say, I hear this sound. It's white noise. And I own all white noise. So I'm going to issue a strike. I'm going to request a DMCA takedown notice. Well, if that's really what you're going to do, then a platform could get involved if they say, hey, white noise, no, that doesn't make any sense. Get out of here. But if they choose not to, then they're just going to try to protect themselves. And that makes sense. And if they do, and you say, hey, look, this guy is wild. They say that they own white noise, and that doesn't make any sense. Well, then you have what's called a counter notice as an option. Counter notices are another process where if you receive a DMCA notice, you can file a complaint. You basically have to give them your information. And when I say them, I'm talking about giving the platform information. That'll be like your address and other information, because what you're doing is saying, hey, I think that the notice is fake, or I think I have a legal justification for what I'm doing. Maybe it's fair use, maybe it's a license. And so with the way that the DMCA safe harbor works, once a counter notice is filed, the content is generally supposed to go right back up. If that happens, then let's say there's a legitimate copyright holder who's filed a legitimate copyright notice. Well, now they've got somebody who is streaming their content, arguably and allegedly infringing on their content. What else can they do? They filed the DMCA notice. It was countered. The copyrighted content is still up at this point. It was down and now it's back up. And so I'll finish up this point really quickly, but basically for copyright purposes, once a counter notice is filed, the copyright holder does not have many options. All they can do is go straight to court. Going through the DMCA notice process is an alternative or a supplement to the court process. It's very expensive to file lawsuits. And so to make things easier, they can submit one request online. It takes way less time. People are usually going to be hiring agents or third-party companies on their behalf, and it'll be much, much more efficient. So now they might have to contemplate litigation. It's going to be more expensive for them. It's going to be a lot more expensive for you if you're the person who's being allegedly infringing. So that's what you just have to keep in mind. Welcome on in, Tentacles Are People. I'm so happy that Dax sent you my way. Yes, I did meet him at my second panel. He wasn't able to, or they weren't able to make it to my first panel. So I talked to Dax, and I'm gonna try to see about doing something where maybe I have a little chat with the Mirage Realm. So we'll see that, but if you have any questions, I've just been chatting about copyright law. I've been chatting about some of the panels that I hosted at TwitchCon, where I met Dax, and I will just be kind of going through some of my notes. But this is more or less a discussion about it. Okay. I will make a note. I'll try to write that down so I can remember it. So, yeah, we'll probably have more information coming up. Still just now kind of trying to figure out a general goal. But like I said, if you want to come chat, then I will probably be hosting this as more of like a informal way to chat with the lawyer, because that's what I am. And so if you want to get to know more about me, this is a great way to ask questions and not worry about asking any of the questions that you might feel like would otherwise be a silly question. That's kind of the goal of the channel, just to make talking to a lawyer a little bit more accessible and drop some of those barriers down. Also, there are some other attorneys out there who are streamers as well. I mean, I met my mentor and he's also a streamer, but there aren't a lot of us. So out of the people who stream often, there are only a handful, which means, you don't get to meet with a lot of people who are in the legal industry. Most of the people that you work with, if you're trying to find somebody in your area, they're going to have you call in or meet them in person, whether they have Twitch experience or not. So we've kind of got a little bit of an experiment here, and I'm currently just trying to work towards affiliate. So by you being here, Nexu, you were helping me out with that. So thank you so much. Let's see, what else did we talk about? We talked about music, trying to use licensed music and trying to improve the landscape there. Oh yeah. And so I was talking about setting up a strong foundation for your channel, because if you end up getting a bunch of strikes on your channel, then think about other types of indirect consequences that could pop up. If I'm a brand or a sponsor and I'm reaching out to somebody to say, hey, you're a very popular streamer, content creator, or broadcaster, however you identify yourself, but I also have to look at what risk you may pose to me or to any of the content. And so if you're a brand, you obviously want a content creator or an influencer who's going to be aligned with whatever views you have. If you, let's say I'm trying to sell, I'm just going to do content or console wars as an example here. Let's say Nintendo reaches out to me and they say, hey, we really want you, James, here at Team Gavel, to brand and like influence our Switches. We're going to come out with the Twitch 2, or the Switch 2, and you're going to get exclusive access. This is all hypothetical. I don't have any kind of financial interest. There's no affiliation right now. I'm just making up a hypothetical. I'll be very clear. No disclaimers, disclaiming that there is no relationship. There we go. But let's say they reach out to me. Well, that would make sense because I play a lot of Switch games. I'd be very interested in it. I think Nintendo would be an interesting brand to partner with because of how they kind of hold themselves out in the industry. And I would feel very selective and exclusive by being able to sponsor their product. That would make a lot of sense, right? But let's say somebody reaches out to me from the tobacco industry. Well, they want me to market their product for their e-cigarette or something else. I don't smoke. I've got asthma, and so that's just not really my thing. Well, let's say I get on my stream and I talk about how annoying smoking is for me, and I don't like it. Well, you could probably get the idea why maybe a tobacco company would not want to come in and have their product sponsored on our stream, where we're saying, hey, we don't like the tobacco industry, it's bad for your health. And then it's like, hey, but now we're selling this product. So your content, your values are going to matter. So there's one way in which your values matter for brands. They're obviously going to be looking at a lot of metrics. They're going to look at your CCV. They're going to be looking at your watchable minute. I think I got that right. But basically, how much engagement do you get on your particular channel based on your viewership? If I have 100 people that watch my channel and every single person is actively commenting in chat, they're actively clicking on all of my affiliate links, then that would be a very high engagement and a high conversion rate. However, if I had 10,000 viewers regularly in my chat and only 100 people out of that 10,000 actively engaged in chat or did other things, you might be wondering, like, okay, are those viewers real? Nobody's really chatting. Is that like a bot? Is that a follower for follower kind of thing? If I'm a brand, I would say, look, the person who has 100 followers that are very active, they're probably going to have a higher conversion rate if they do grow as a streamer because they've got a very active audience. And so as a brand, you would say the smaller streamer in this context is probably going to be worth more to you as a brand. Some other brands might say, well, we just want impressions, so we want eyes. And so that may be a reason why they end up picking the person with 10,000 views. But most brands are going to be looking at that conversion rate between the viewers and the engagement between the number of viewers and how much you can get people to click on those links or do whatever you're trying to do for your streamer obligations and deliverables. So think about all of that when we've been talking about copyrightable content as well. That's basically where I'm trying to take you. One of the other risks is not only how many viewers and how much engagement you have, but are there other variables that would make you not great to work with in terms of a brand partner? Are you going to say content, or are you going to engage in conduct that's either on stream or off stream that is likely to become offensive in some capacity? Does that misalign you and the brand? If the answer is yes, then you're probably not going to be an ideal target for the brand. Also, think about it like this. If your stream goes down, and especially if it goes down regularly, then how much viewership, how much content time is really going to be available for our sponsor that's trying to hire you? If your content's going down, then you're not going to have those conversion rates because you're just not going to have your content available to be watched. Or let's say you have audio that's from a sponsor, but you have other sound alerts or other things that are from third-party creators that get muted. If you have like an audio roll ad that you are putting into your stream that gets muted in the VOD, then part of the big value in having that sponsorship is also lost. So yeah, all of these are just reasons why brands are going to want you to do your own due diligence and make sure that your content is not going to go down. You know, a lot of income is going to come from those brand sponsorships and external monetization methods. If you're really big, sure, it'll come from bits, it'll come from subs, but for most streamers, your money is going to come from working with brand sponsorships and activations in general. So if that's the case, then are you doing everything that you can to ensure that your content is going to be safe and sustainable for yourself and for those sponsors? That's really the question that I have for you. And so while we're talking about brand sponsorships, this is just another reminder from an attorney. You can work with those sponsors. You don't have to accept whatever the first draft of the contract is or first draft of whatever their offer. If they give something to you that ends up not being sustainable, it's okay to ask for more. And it's okay to push back on an exclusivity clause. If you end up working on one sponsorship deal and they say, okay, great, but we need you to give us, I'm going to change this music. We'll see if this one is better. But let's say a brand comes up to you and they say, look, we need you to give us the rights to your name, image, and likeness perpetually and indefinitely. And if I didn't say it, exclusively. Well, if you've given one brand the rights to your name, image, and likeness, then, and especially if it's an exclusive agreement, you're not going to be able to do any other sponsorships that require your name and image to promote the content. You're not going to be able to promote other ads or do a lot of things. So you want to make sure you're getting your value there. But let's say you had an existing contract in place. By signing into that particular exclusivity agreement, you might also be violating an already in place one. So you have to be very careful. And so that's just a good reminder to say, hey, look, make sure that when you're checking your contracts, that you are checking them, obviously. And aside from checking your contracts, that you know you can push back. If you push back and you say, hey, look, this exclusivity, it's just too much. I'm a small creator. I need to be able to pay my rent. And to do that, I have to be able to take other sponsorships. So either you need to make this non-exclusive so that I can do other engagements, or we need to up whatever the activation rate is so that I can do this the way that you're wanting me to do it. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to push back. You can ask for changes, you can ask for modifications, and just because it's a deal doesn't mean you have to take it. You just also need to be mindful that you may get some scammers when you're working with these brands. Sometimes people will come in and they'll do this thing where they're like, hey, I just purchased the product that you're an affiliate for, and as a result of that, I'm going to ask you to do X, Y, or Z. It's almost like it's a very quid pro quo thing. I scratch your back, now you need to scratch mine. Well, that's a pretty uncomfortable position for you to be in, because on the one hand, sure, it seems like it's a very helpful situation. Hey, they bought my product and I'm supposed to get a portion of the revenue if I'm sponsored, but they're trying to hold it over your head. And maybe they're, I don't know, asking for like feet pics or something. They're like, you need to create an OnlyFans or otherwise I'm gonna report you or take your stream down or something because of fraud. You'll see it when you do, and so you just need to be ready for those. You can talk to other streamers and you can talk to other professionals like myself to know what's the most appropriate thing to do. But on our panel, when we were talking about those things, generally what we said was, or generally what McLaffy Taffy was saying is like, look, this happened to me in a context where somebody like bought a bunch of products and then they tried to ask for something and he just said blocked. Not only that, he went straight to the brand and he said, look, nope, you need to know that this person with this username at this time paid for these products. Please cancel it. I need you to know that that has nothing to do with me. There is some fraud stuff going on. Whatever is going on there, I had nothing to do with it. It is not part of my deal. Sure, you might lose the potential revenue that you would have otherwise gained, but we're talking about doing things sustainably and doing them the right way the first time. So just keep that in mind. It's more important for you to maintain a healthy relationship with a legitimate sponsor so that you can get other sponsorships and other opportunities down the road than it is for you to get, I don't know, $10 from one deal once with a situation that could end up blacklisting you, right? So we're just trying to put things in. Oh, there we go. Nexu, thanks. Thanks for the follow. So yeah, we're trying to talk about sustainable and long-term practices that you can go through for your channel. Some of the other things we were talking about for stream monetization was just knowing who you are when you're picking sponsorship deals or things. If your primary goal is to take a sponsorship so that you can pay your rent, then that's fine. Just make sure that it's not going to be something that is really going to stand out and be contradictory. At the end of the day, you're going to have disclosures that you're going to have to make, and if you can't say, hey, I've tried this product and I believe in it, then keep that in mind when you're promoting a product. Oh, hey, no worries at all, Nexu. Thank you so much for being here. And I might be back with, I'll be back next week around the same time, but I will hopefully be talking to Dax about the Mirage Realm in the slightly near future. So keep your eyes and ears open for that, and then we'll make some kind of plan there. But yeah, thanks so much for being here. Okay, so yeah, I was talking about knowing who you are when you're trying to pick those brands. A lot of people are worried about this idea of selling out and taking more corporate sponsorships. One of the funniest things, do I play video games? I do. I have kind of just dedicated today, or at least I've got a little bit more of talking points from my panels and things, but I've otherwise been playing. I do variety content. I'm trying to figure out what would be my one game that I could kind of focus in on. You like piano? That's nice. My wife plays piano. That was one of the things that she grew up playing. I played saxophone in middle school, alto saxophone, and ended up playing, well, I wanted to be in a band when I was in high school. Or actually, yeah, towards the end of middle school. And so I ended up picking up a bass guitar. And I learned music from tabs. I had tried to take music lessons, but never really did them because I didn't do them through school or anything organized. So I just picked up music tabs. And that's really the extent of the music stuff that I got into. I still have my bass at home, but I don't have like an amp or anything these days. So, but my wife does have, we do have like a baby grand piano, like an electronic one. It's fun to play around. My wife loves piano, so she has a good time, but even she hasn't been playing as much. But yeah, in terms of game stuff, I kind of bounce around. I've played a lot of like Zelda games on stream. I've been playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and I've been pivoting on, I played a lot of Pokemon. So Pokemon Violet, Pokemon Legends Arceus. So just trying to find a specific niche. But in the meantime, while I'm dancing around all the different games and genres, I'm playing games that I haven't played. And that's kind of the idea that I had with my content. I was like, you know, maybe it makes sense for me to be like a lot of these podcasters who are out there like, I'm going to do this. I've never done it before in my life. I'm going to read Harry Potter. And I could be like Mike Schubert. I'm going to play this game for the first time. And that was kind of my bit. So I play a lot of campaigns. I played Final Fantasy VII's Remake that way. Played Elden Ring. Had a lot of fun with it. And if I didn't have fun, then I just rotated games. Or if I beat the story. But yeah, no, that's kind of where I am with the gaming content. Still trying to find my area there. But I just had a lot of thoughts coming out of TwitchCon. And so I thought, you know what, I can at least turn this into a conversation where hopefully I can build into some other topics. But yeah, so if you know who you are as a creator and you know what you're looking for, then you know the brands that make sense for you to take, and you know the brands that don't make sense for you to take. You know, if you have that relationship with your community, then they should be understanding when you need to quote unquote sell out. If you're like, hey, guys, I know you might not download Marvel Snap, or you might not play radio. I didn't even say that. You might not download Marvel Snap, you may not download Raid Shadow Legends or whatever, but if anybody wants to look at it, I'm doing this because I need to pay my mortgage or my utilities, and this is actually covering it. And then if people complain, then you could give them one of two options. Okay, well, ignore, the sponsorship, that's fine, you don't have to buy in. Or two, I would take less of these sellout sponsorships if you guys could help cover and monetize the channel. And so if they have any kind of poor reaction to either of those options, then, maybe it's not the right community for you, because most people should otherwise be understanding that we're all humans and we need to be able to get food on the table. But if you do take one of those sponsorships that are against your values or other things you just don't really believe in, your community's gonna notice. It's gonna be harder for you to sell. Maybe it's less ethical for you to sell, but you're not gonna give your all for something like that. And when I say it shows, it does. If I came on here and I tried to tell people to go get a pet snake, it's not going to go well. I mean, it's just, I'm afraid of snakes. And so me trying to tell people, hey, snakes are the greatest things. There's probably going to be at some point where I would have to stop just to, if somebody brought in a snake and they're like, all right, here, hold the snake and you can promote it, then you would see me visibly freak out and I wouldn't be able to sell the product. I wouldn't be able to help sell snakes or whatever. So just make sure you have genuine sponsorships. And even if you take those sellout opportunities, make sure that it's not going to go against any of your core values. But, that being said, just because you end up interested in brand sponsorships does not mean that every single opportunity has to be some groundbreaking, earth-shattering monetary or revenue generating machine. There we go. Monetary and revenue put together. I like making new words up. If you just want to do a sponsorship for practice, and it's not necessarily the most profitable one, but you can practice with the smaller one so that you can reach out to a bigger one and be like, hey, I did this sponsorship opportunity and here are my metrics, and I'm hoping to do a bigger one with you, brand. That's fine. Also, let's say I end up talking to somebody like Nintendo and they say, we'll give you Nintendo gift cards, and it's like a $50 Nintendo e-gift card. It sounds kind of like a scam at this point just because of all the gift card scams that are out there. But let's just say that I can promote some game or a product from Nintendo, and they offer a limited or nominal value product in return. Well, obviously, if I get an eShop gift card, that's not going to pay my bills. That's not going to cover my mortgage or anything. But maybe I just really like Nintendo games, and I was already planning on getting a couple other games that are going to be newer releases. Maybe worthwhile for me emotionally and mentally to just take that deal because the idea of working with that brand and establishing that connection or goodwill could be valuable to me. And then I can say, hey, look, I was one of the very exclusive creators that was afforded an opportunity to work with, you know, insert brand here. So yeah, that is also perfectly fine. So those are some of the things that came up in the panels and the conversations that we had throughout the weekend. You know, you just need to make sure that you're taking the time to treat your content seriously and think about some of the long-term consequences in how you operate. If you're trying to operate as a business, then treat your stream like a business. If you're treating it like a hobby, then don't set yourself up with the same expectations of growth to, you know, to be a partner or to be the most viral person out there with your stream. If your goals don't align with some of the practicalities, then, you know, you can always rework those. Oh, another thing that I just remembered, it was said a few times over the weekend, but contracts can save friendships. That was a phrase that both my lawyer friend and McLaffy Taffy both said over the weekend. And so I think it's very important and apt to say as well. If you're hiring somebody to do emotes or stream assets or other things, then put it in writing, set your expectations for how they're going to pay for it or how you're going to pay for it. Put the rules of engagement, you know, here are things that are acceptable, here are things that aren't. And then if something ever hits the fan between you two, then you can go back to that writing and be like, yeah, sure, you know, you put ketchup on my rice and I don't ever want to talk to you again, but, you know, we talked about how I was going to use my emotes on the channel and you told me I could use them this way, and that's the only way that I've been using them. So even if I don't like how you put ketchup on rice, you know, we've at least got in writing a defined engagement. We've got rules of engagement. We've got terms and an official contract. And so then you can be like, okay, well, I don't know how you eat your rice with soy sauce or with other things, but at least it doesn't have to impact us and how we interact as people, as parties to this agreement there. Okay. Yeah, so I might end up picking up some of these other topics for other streams. I've kind of been going into, it's been about an hour. I think I might actually pivot over, play some video games for a little bit. Okay, let's figure out what I'm going to play. Oops. All right, thankfully, looks like my setup is still ready to go gaming wise. Okay, so I might end up picking up Great Ace Attorney. Tunic was another really fun one. Haven't played Slay the Spire yet. Tears of the Kingdom I'm almost done with. I just have left it on a little bit of hiatus. I don't have that on my console. I don't know. If I go in here and find something, let's see it. I might just mess around with something. But for everybody that stuck around, like Ricky and Nexu while they were here, it was a lot of fun having you all here, for me at least. And I hope you all got some value out of my conversations that I brought up. So again, thank you so much for being here. I love playing Paper Mario, and I've beaten it twice since I've had it on this. I don't think I streamed it, but always a good time. Could play Ocarina of Time. Okay, so these are the Nintendo Online games. Okay. We're gonna check. Let me switch over. I just want to look at the other console options. Okay, so we got other games. I haven't clicked on this, obviously. Haven't played Earthbound, which is where we get Ness and stuff. Donkey Kong Country. Man. Okay, let's see. Link to the Past. All the Kirby games. There's Star Fox. Star Fox was great. Okay. Oh, and Harvest Moon. All right. I'm going to keep looking through some of this stuff, but if anybody ever has any questions about any of the stuff that I was talking about earlier, or any of the panels from TwitchCon, you know, feel free to reach out. And I just put my info in there again, but you can reach out to me, Blue JDW on Hive. You can reach out to me here. I also have another channel that is Blue JDW. That's kind of my personal account where I watch a lot of my friends and followers on their channels there. So if you see me interacting with you on Blue JDW, that's probably why. This is the firm channel, and so I use my personal money when I subscribe to people's channels and stuff, or donate to like charity events and things. You can also find me on LinkedIn, but that's not necessarily something that a lot of people are going to jump at, I know. I actually posted some of the discussion points that I brought up today. I brought those points to LinkedIn as well. Oops, that's not what I meant to do.
Live from
No.
Northland.
Mindlessly clicking on stuff. Get all the sound effects from the Sega game unintentionally. Okay, so I haven't opened this at all, which means I'm gonna have a bunch of things. I did not play a lot of Sega games. We did have a Sega Genesis, but by the time that I was really playing stuff, it was more of Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo. Those were the consoles that I was really playing. If you're somebody who's hopping in and you like some of these more classic games, then what are some of your favorites? I did play Echo the Dolphin. That was a fun game for me. A little stressful. Yeah, honestly, Sonic is probably one of the few games that I knew and associated back then when I was playing. I think I might go back to 64. It's like my comfort zone. Mario Party 3 was still on the Nintendo 64. I think I'd started this. I don't know. I'm just going to play Ocarina of Time. Here we go. Decision made. Okay. Now I'm trying to figure out if I should keep the audio or if I should just keep the regular stream music that I've been using. Did it already beat? No? Okay. Oh man. It feels so trippy to watch. Okay, let's do... We're gonna edit some stuff here. let's ground my little camera. Or maybe I just go in the upper. There we go. I don't know, maybe that makes sense. If you think I should pull it to the bottom left corner or something, then let me know. But otherwise, I think this makes sense. Okay, so yeah, this is the part where gotta go find some money. Oh, I already got the shield. Got the sword and the shield, so I'm doing just fine. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do here. Oh, the other way. That's why. Look at the map. Remember how things work. There we go. All the music that comes up in these soundtracks, it's just like, it's very calming. Yeah. My wife listens to like classical music and stuff. She also listens to music from like Harry Potter soundtracks and other things while she works. But listening to like gaming soundtracks, that's definitely something that kind of makes me calm and focused. A lot of good times and a lot of really frustrating times happening while I have listened to these game soundtracks. But, you know, it's the joy of gaming. There we go. we obviously are here because the protag is us. We are the main character. We have to do the things. Making it seem like we have a choice. If we say no, then the credits roll. One of the... Cozy! Welcome on in here. I saw that you were streaming earlier. Are you still on? Or did you wrap up your stream? You have been seen. Yeah, no, wow, I appreciate that. I was hanging out earlier and just went through some of the conversation pieces from the panels. I've got a list of things that I put on LinkedIn that are like my general takeaways, and went into a full discussion about some of the legal tips and reminders that come up when you're streaming. So because you were there, Cozy, you definitely got to hear some of that firsthand at the monetization panel, and you know, that was great. I kind of just went over some of that stuff for the audience here, and then yeah, I got tired of going through my list, so I just put a pin in the rest of my talking points, and now I'm playing Ocarina of Time. What all have you been up to today with your stream? I mean, I wish I could make more Zelda breaks during my workday. If I had somebody who came into my office and they were like a very unhappy client, and then I was like, hey, sorry, can I just like, nope, and then just turn on Zelda? I wish I could do something like that, but nah. Zelda, Pokemon, other stuff. Definitely don't have, or, you know, like we were talking about D&D with Maverick. Yeah, if I could just roll to take a rest. Oh man, that'd be too convenient. I can't remember how there's the shield. Yeah, I was happy to actually get some sleep after TwitchCon. I did not sleep while I was there, and I sort of had regular sleep, and then this past weekend it was glorious. I actually slept close to 8 hours. Normally I get like between 6 to 8-ish, and such a game changer. Oops. It did show me the right door. Is this slingshot? I can't remember. There we go. Speaking of D&D, Today was a new episode day for my lawyer friends' podcast, The Forgotten Paths. Oh, I need to... And so I got caught up on that this morning when I was getting ready for work. There we go. So, if you were looking for another D&D podcast or a tabletop TTRPG podcast, then I would definitely recommend it. I feel like I have I do have it. There we go. I don't know that I have the link, but I might be able to find it. Welcome on in, everybody. Thanks so much, Cozy, for raiding in. I am playing some Zelda. I'm a lawyer who talks law stuff every now and then, and I am always open to meeting some new people. I was very happy to meet Cozy at... I was very happy to meet our leader here, Cozy, at TwitchCon, and... Ooh, here we go. Maybe I can find... I can post this link. Oh, here we go. There we go. Found a link. This should work better. Maybe I'll just type it in. Yeah, we're... Thanks to people like Cozy, I was able to hit my goal. I was able to hit my follower goal between Cozy, Maverick, and some of the other streamers that were there. So, yeah, my follower goal, I'm going to have to figure out what to do now. I thought 100 was a really cool number, but yeah, now I just have to... I mean, I'm still working towards affiliate, so everybody being here helps me out. Such a big, deal. But I am currently working on ways to plan more legal content so I can take things like TwitchCon and turn it to more of a regular show. It might turn into more gaming updates as well. And Top Hat. There we go. Top Hat, thank you so much for the follow. So yeah, we're up to 105. So yeah, if you want to stick around, I will be playing more Zelda or random stuff, but otherwise I usually treat this as what I call office hours. So if you've been an undergrad or had any kind of like after school kind of time where you can go ask your teacher questions, I treat this as a very informal space to hang out with the lawyer. A lot of people won't necessarily see that as something like really exciting, but if you've never talked to a lawyer and you're looking for something, if you're looking for an opportunity to chat with a lawyer, then you might try to find a way to do it that's less scary. I mean, I'm still a millennial, and so, millennials, we don't like to get on the phone that much. It's really easy to send emails, to send text messages, other things. And so I kind of hope that I can help bridge some of the gaps here. And then also thanks for the raid, Top Hat. Not only bridge some of the gaps, but just make lawyering a little bit more accessible. So yeah, that's what I'm about. Otherwise, just trying to make the gaming space a friendlier face, or a friendlier space with a friendlier face at a time, one little thing. All right, let's see if we can do this. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make with my stream. And, you know, there are a lot of opportunities where I might say like, hey, you know, a paid arrangement might make more sense, and I might want to do that after a while. But if you just want to come chat about gaming stuff, then, you know, it's not like you need a paywall to be like, hey, does that stuff make sense? But, you know, if people want to come in and have questions about basic things that you would find in an article online anyway, then I don't really see the big deal in, you know, hosting something like this Twitch channel. And if anybody has any questions about things in a more confidential way, you know, I'm happy to do a consultation. Especially happy to do a free consult. You know, we do those at my firm. I do paid consultations as well, but I also can and do offer a lot of free consults. So, you know, we can talk about that kind of stuff here, what it's like. If you have questions about hiring a lawyer, what you should do, things you shouldn't do when you're trying to hire a lawyer, you can also ask me those more basic things. I am trying to get reacclimated to my controls here. There we go. Goodness. But yeah, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to do that, you know. Otherwise, you know, just thanks for hanging out, and I will go back to just playing whatever games. That's kind of the idea of the stream. Ah. Yeah, I do have a lurk command, so thanks for testing that out. Oops. There you go. And then I think I have unlurk as the other command if you pop out, but lurking helps because we are working towards affiliate. Alright, is this gonna be health? There we go. Perfect. Just what I need. Did you get anything? Nope. Alright, I will go ahead and try to cross back over. Alright. Do it the slow route. Got it. Yeah, and just to kind of emphasize for some of the other viewers here, one of the things we were talking about was just making your content more sustainable for the long term. When you're streaming, it's going to be very easy to want to add emotes and alerts and other content that's going to be from your favorite IPs, your favorite games. Like if I wanted to make alerts and things with Legend of Zelda stuff, there's not really anything stopping me from being able to upload it. The only thing that really will stop me is if Twitch or any of the bigger brands come out and they say, hey, you're infringing on our work. Don't do that. And also, here's a DMCA notice. You know, take the content down. So you're gonna not want to be in that position. You're not gonna want to be in a position to run into all that stuff. If, you know, it comes up, you're gonna want to be in the best possible position to be able to say, no, I got a license from, you know, I have a Zelda license. That'd be really cool to say, right? I mean, we did mention that the idea of streaming in general, it's inherently copyright infringement, but you can go about streaming games and stuff in a slightly more sustainable way by taking a few precautions. Not playing music that would otherwise be copyright infringement is one of those. So getting music that doesn't have royalties, music that you do have a paid, not a paid, but a license to. That's what I'm trying to say. Kind of just want to get some practice in with combat. Here we go. I keep doing this by accident. All right, we're just gonna hopefully hit that. Chill out, Navi. I don't know, I feel like that's a big energy of the game. It's also just chill out, Navi. Alright, how do I get the fire down there again? I'm fine with backseat gaming for this kind of stuff, because there are times when I just forget how to play this game. I am playing it through the Nintendo Switch store. I was already in here, but what was in here again? Oh, it's just this. Okay, cool. But yeah, like I said, this is me. Here we go. Yep. I remember having to set the web on fire. I just don't remember if I had a torch from the 3rd level. I think I had to run with the stick on fire. Alright, so I'll try that again. Was I just supposed to be able to break through it? I can't. Oh, I burned this thing. Okay, that's a sad time. Nope, I need Oh man. I usually, when I'm playing video games, I usually add the disclaimer that you probably don't come to me for my gaming. You come to me because I'm a lawyer and I'm a friendly face. And if I happen to do something impressive gaming-wise, then that's just a value add. But, yeah. Did I just not jump through the right one? I didn't. Fall into the center of the web. So I was just jumping on the edge. It's a little stronger on the edge, and that's why. Okay, well. Third time's a charm, I guess. And I'll make sure that I jump from the right spot. Does this one look more like a platform than the others? Now they all look kind of the same. That was it. Okay. There we go. I guess I could have grabbed some additional sticks from upstairs first, but... Got it. I know I gotta get up there, but I think for now I just gotta go this way. Oh, maybe not. This is just back to the main area. That ain't it then. Whoops. Well, I'll get some... trying to stun it. That didn't work. Oh well. There we go. Hopefully I saved that stuff. I'll teach you something cool. Yeah. We like sharing knowledge here. Two, three, 1. This is a little tedious. There we go. Hold down A. It is actually A, so that's good. That's all I needed. At least that's all I thought I needed. We'll find out. Alright, Navi. run out of those seats here. This is one of those things where nope, okay. It's like I know that we have the big spider boss at the end, but I couldn't remember if excuse me. I couldn't remember if that was like one of the mini boss rooms. It was like a smaller spider, but nope. We're good. So I can push this down, and then that way the rest of the area is re-accessible. We get back to the entrance / exit of the dungeon. Not like that. There we go. Oh, that is water. Good. Alright, we'll leave the other heart there. Okay, and it's 2, 3, 1. There we go. Queen Goma. That's right. In order to administer the coup de grace. Strike with your sword while she's stunned. Cool, we can do a little boss area. Alright, now I gotta hit that with the slingshot. Let's see if I can get the actions in the right way. Oops. Oh, we're not. Okay, can I... Let's pivot that now. There we go. That is it. That's the mechanic. No hits. Nice. Man, I just feel like this was much harder. I mean, it's the first boss, so it's not necessarily going to be the hardest anyway, but that was really quick work. Even with me trying to relearn the controls. All right. I'm very much looking forward to being officially done with all this bonus stuff. Not fun a time. Not that fun of a time at all. Out of respect, we'll say yes. So while we're getting kind of the backstory here for Zelda, Ganondorf, everybody else, I'll just say, so my plan, like I was talking about before, is to go back next week and stream, and I may do a practice run through of like another intro legal conversation, because I'm gonna have to do another panel for the Richmond Indie Comic Expo, and that's a student-led comic expo at a local university here in Richmond. So I'm looking forward to it, but it's nice for me to kind of get some practice running through the basic stuff. And so I may just go ahead and do that kind of intro conversation and then play some games afterwards, kind of like what I did today. If you got anything you want to cover or specific topics that you think could be worthwhile, then let me know and I will make a note of it. If it's part of what I was already going to discuss, then I'll just make a special note for you when I create the content, if I can. Otherwise, I will see how I can work it in, or if I should work it in. Sometimes people might ask me about a securities question or other things where maybe not the best person to give the feedback specifically, but I can still do my best to look into things that I know and processes and procedures in general that I may not know a lot about, but know enough to give at least a generic answer. So I'm happy to do that for any of my office hours here on Team Gavel. Yeah, I might end up wrapping up a little early just because of getting to a more natural stopping point for the game. But like I said, I want to thank everybody that came through today. We had let's just start out with Estremendo or Ricky. Estremendo. I gotta say that the right way. Anyway, Ricky, Nexu, everybody from Mirage Realm or from Cozy Beans stream, the Cozy Beans stream. Thank you everybody for stopping by, and thank you to oh, we had another raid too. Let me make sure. Top Hat Tolab. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but also thank you for coming in, and thanks for raiding the channel too. So I just want to say thanks again to everybody. With your all's help, I'll be getting another step closer, hopefully, to affiliate. And that's like the highest Twitch level that I can feasibly stream and achieve for right now. So that's kind of what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. That's not kind of what I'm doing. That's my new goal, and I'm working towards it. So I'm going to be trying to make content and other things and actually follow through with marketing. And that means that I've got to put in a little bit more effort. But now that I have a clear goal with the stream, or at least the channel in general, I think it will help motivate me to kind of kick things up. So, affiliate, not too bad, not too bad. I just need a little push for my channel, and I think I can do that. But everybody helps, and you know, every little help, every little bit counts. That's what I'm trying to say. That's another reason why I'm probably about to hop off. I'm getting a little too tired, but every little bit helps. And so if you come in and you lurk and you ask questions here and there and engage with the channel, great. All that will go towards the metrics that can help me push towards affiliate, because I can't do it by myself. If I could do it by myself, then I would have already done it by now. But, you know, need some help. And I've been asking for input on the stream, and I've been getting it, and I've been trying to make some changes. And now that I know I'm wanting to push for affiliate, I am going to be, like I said, pushing a little bit more on myself and on the marketing aspect. So we'll have more stream stuff going to YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. I can pop that in the chat. So if you ever want to catch our channel, I'll go ahead and pop that link in the chat. You can watch our VODs. I don't know why OBS isn't happy with me right now, but yep, there we go. And then I can make that part of my stream on Expand. I'll fix that after the stream though. Anyway, I will go ahead and oops. I am hitting the wrong buttons here. What is it? There we go. We're going to go ahead and save. So, thanks to everybody coming out. Like I said before, I'll be back next week. If anybody wants to reach out for any type of more confidential or private legal consultation, you can do that. I'll go ahead and put my information in the chat. So you can email me, James at Tingen, TINGEN.LAW. You can also find me on LinkedIn and we can connect that way. But, you know, feel free to reach out here and we can just go into a more informal conversation. And then if we need to address any of the other stuff, we can do that in a more private setting. So thanks for coming through. And like I said, I'll be here. Actually, I want to go ahead and grab my link for LinkedIn. I know it's not like a super big thing for gamers in general, but if you're a brand out there and you're looking to connect, or you're a company, more of somebody who isn't a content creator, then you're probably going to be using LinkedIn a little bit more aggressively. And so I'll go ahead and drop that as well. But all right, you want to talk about anything else? Then we can. Otherwise, thank you so much, everybody, and I will be back next week. All right, until then, see ya.